What's up, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. And whether you are a returning viewer or a first-time viewer, I appreciate you being here. So a few weeks ago, I thought that doing a video on the language that we use to describe system-involved people would be an appropriate follow-up to what I had just done about the importance of remaining confident and maintaining a high level of self-worth as we embark on this re-entry journey, because oftentimes the way that we feel about ourselves is directly correlated to the way others feel about us. And a day or two after I had that idea, Twitter, re-entry Twitter, just completely blew up talking about the topic. And if you saw the slides a few minutes ago, there was one guy on Twitter, apparently a former offender, who asked me, if words hurt you so much, how did you even manage to make it through prison? And to answer the question, I think I would just say that I did, whatever I needed to do at the time to make it through what was a tough situation, and to prepare to get on with my life. And when I first got out, I definitely struggled to find meaning in my life. And I think that I was probably, that I thought less of myself than even other people thought. Fortunately, I've been able to, over the last 2 decades, to kind of rebuild my life and to build a reputation that I'm proud of. And I don't think that people see me, today as a con or a felon or criminal or convict. But what about those out there who are still struggling to kind of see the value in themselves? Do we think it's helpful to use these words to describe them? Just because our experiences and our criminal records are forever, in most cases, it doesn't mean that we have to forever be burdened with the stigmas that come along with those experiences. So I would just argue that any language that tends to keep people kind of stuck in a place where they felt less than, where they felt hopeless, I just don't think it's productive. And truth be told, it's dehumanizing. So we use words like brands and labeling when we talk about this sort of language, but labeling is actually theory in sociology and psychology that says exactly what we're talking about, that we determine our self-concepts in part based on the feedback that we get from others. And it's a pretty simple concept. It kind of goes like this: the individual offends, society labels, the individual accepts that label, strain occurs, and then the individual continues to reoffend. So the strain theory is basically exactly what it says. It's strain, it's stress, and when people are, strained or stressed, they tend to do things that might not be in their best interest. And the bad part about this is these changes can be lifelong. I mean, it's social learning. It's no different than the child who grows up to be antisocial or criminal because he's heard all his life, maybe even from inside the home, that it was never going to amount to anything. And even though offenders are not innocent bystanders, they do tend to become more deep-rooted in crime because of these sanctions that society has placed on them. So all of this is scientific theory, but it also seems to me pretty common sense. And it's just weird to me when I hear former offenders refer to themselves as ex-cons or felons, and when I see supposed advocates, re-entry advocates, use these terms to refer to others. In just the last 2 days, I saw the Twitter tough guy call himself an ex-con. I saw a second chance employer refer to employees as reformed criminals, and that was on LinkedIn. And a reentry advocate who posted that a felon had started his own barbershop. In many cases, there's no ill intent from the people using these terms. By definition, a convict is somebody who has been convicted of a crime in a court of law. But I just don't know that it's helpful to refer to individuals who, many of whom are already just broken down so badly, to refer to them as convicts or anything of that nature. Because it's not just semantics. There's a lot of power in these words. They serve as a warning to society, right? An advisory that we are less than, that we are second-class citizens, even that were dangerous. And another thing, people who use these words believing that they're helping society by kind of creating this separation between law-abiding citizens and others are actually only disenfranchising a large part of our population that has a lot to offer. They're decreasing, not increasing, public safety, which is the exact opposite of the mission of the criminal justice system. So I think my personal position in this is clear. Of course, it's not my job to tell anybody else how they should think or what they should say or do. But the purpose of the video is just to get people thinking about how their words can have consequences, both for the individual and for society as a whole. I mean, every year we have hundreds of thousands of people who are released from prisons and into our communities. They're going to be our co-workers, they're going to be our neighbors, they're going to be our service providers. So to me, it just makes sense for us to want these individuals to be reformed. And especially when the ask of us is such a small one. Don't say mean or insensitive shit to people. It's not that hard. Well, that's it for today. Hope to see you guys here next time. And until then, take care.